Okay, let's get started. Good afternoon. Let's get started. And as part of our previous discussion, we were discussing about the constructors. So shall I share the screen quickly? Shall we start? Okay. I hope the screen is visible to all of you. Okay. Okay. And we were started discussing about the default constructor. So default constructor is a constructor which added by the compiler only in one scenario. What is that scenario? What is that scenario? When the default constructor will add a constructor in my class, whenever there is faster people, whenever there is perfect, whenever there is no constructor available, whenever there is no constructor present in my class, in that case only default constructor will add the constructor. Perfect. Moving forward. Perfect. Then if you observe, there are a few things we started learning about default constructor. Default constructor is a constructor which is always added by the compiler. Second point, anybody here? Anybody has any idea? Second point, default constructor added by compiler. Then perfect. If and only if there is no constructor available. Third is, it is always a no argument constructor. Then comes access modifier, same as class level. Very good, Bhavna. Then last and most important thing, first line of a default constructor is always a call to super no arg constructor. Super no arg constructor. I hope you are paying attention. Super no arg constructor will be added by the compilers. Always a no arg constructor will be there. Okay, sir. Now this is what the class we started discussing. Pay attention. In this scenario, what is happening? Inside pack1, pay attention to the package declaration, guys. com.constructor.pack1. Inside the pack1, I am writing a class called constructor, which does not have anything. Which means in this class, a default constructor should be added. Yes or no? Quick. In this class only, default constructor will be added. Faster. Perfect, sir. Okay, sir. Now move to the next class. Next class packet declaration is what? Pack2. com.constructor.pack2. And I'm importing constructor class from the pack1. Inside this, I'm creating a constructor C1 is equal to new constructor. The moment I do this, do you think this will work? Yes, no? Will this line work where I'm highlighting? Will this line be working? Yes, because, oh, Balram says no. Okay. Others? Yes, because in my class, there is no constructor and constructor will be adding a no arg constructor. So this constructor call should work. What if I make it this way? What if I'm passing an argument? Will this work now? Will this work now? Faster? No, sir. Reason, I'm calling a integer argument constructor, whereas in my class, there is no constructor. So compiler will be adding a default constructor, which has to be a no arg constructor. So this constructor call must fail. And pay attention to the detail error. It is required what? No arguments. Found integer argument. And reason is actual and formal argument list differ in length. Am I right, everybody? But obvious error is there. Easy to understand? Okay. Moving forward. Pay attention. Now what is happening? Same pack1 constructor class is there. In pack2, I am writing another class constructor demo where I'm calling a no arg constructor. This works fine, no problem. Okay. What if this pack1 and this pack? Can you see difference? They are different packages. And I want to know the access modifier of the class constructor. Can you please help me with the access modifier of the class constructor where I'm highlighting? What would be the class access modifier for constructor? Access modifier for the class constructor. Can you please help me? Quick. Perfect. Faster, everybody. Short forms are welcome, guys. Perfect. Perfect. Of course, sir. This class, we are not mentioning any access modifier, that means it by default package is the access modifier applicable on the class constructor. And constructor is in pack 1. Yes, no. Pack 1, pack 1. Constructor class is in pack 1. Yes, no. Yes. And if you see this constructor demo class is coming from pack 2. So do you think this constructor call will work now? Do you think this class constructor will work? No, guys. I'll help you with that. Pay attention. There is one more rule. Pay attention. See, as of now, if you observe over here, I have not listed any access modifier. So definitely package is the access modifier applicable on this. But you tell me, in this class, constructor class, is there any constructor written by myself, written by the developer? Is there any constructor written? No, sir. In that case, compiler will be adding a constructor. I am asking a question. What would be the access modifier applicable on default constructor? Access modifier for default constructor. Added over here. Remember the rule? Constructor will be added by the compiler with the access modifier as the class level access modifier. If class level access modifier itself is package, so the default constructor access modifier must be, very good guys, faster. Even the default modifier access perfect. Default constructor access modifier also is a package. Perfect, guys. I hope there is no confusion. In that case, let me ask you again. What do you think? This constructor call, will it work? Am I in the same package or outside the package now? Will this work? Will this work? Faster. Will this work now? No, sir. Perfect. Reason? My constructor demo class is in a different package of pack 2. Constructor class is in pack 1. So the default constructor work only in a pack 1. I hope you agree. Everybody clear? And this will generate an error. I expect you to read the error along with me, guys. Faster. Read the error. Constructor is not public in com.constructor.pack1 cannot be accessed from outside package. Is this pretty easy to understand? And the proof is there. If constructor is being added by the compiler, then the access modifier compiler will be same as the class level. Am I clear? Everybody? Faster. Moving forward. Now pay attention what is happening over here. Pay attention to the next scenario, guys. I'm going a bit fast. Yes, Bharat. Bharat has asked a very beautiful doubt. If another class is present in the same package, will it be accessible? Yes, boss. If you see in the previous scenario, say for example, there is another class called constructor 2. Say class constructor 2 is available within the pack 1. In that case, constructor 2 will be able to access the default constructor of the constructor class, which is marked as package. Is this clear to everybody, guys? Within the same package, any class you create will be able to work. No problem. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. By the way, as of now, if you see what's happening in this scenario, there is a class within pack 1 called parent constructor. And within the pack 1, I have created another class called child constructor. Child extends parent constructor. So there is a relationship is there. I hope pretty much clear. Clear? What is the scenario? In this case, you tell me even parent constructor class also will have a default constructor. Child constructor class also will have a default constructor. Yes or no? Agree? Yes. And both are valid. No problem. Now let me add something. Now pay attention what is happening. Sir, in parent constructor class, we have created a parameterized constructor which accepts integer argument. Okay. Now, will this work? Yes, no. Okay. If it is being tough for you, let me explain you. Wait a minute. I'll make it simple for you. Hold on. As of now, this is the scenario. Consider parent constructor, child constructor. Two classes are there in the same package. Both of them does not have any constructor written by the developer. So compiler will add a constructor. Let me write the constructor for you. It will be public then parent constructor. Am I right? This is the way a constructor would be written in parent class, right? Similarly, for child also it will be written. Rather than the parent, it will be what? Child. But let me ask you one thing. What will be the first line of this constructor call? Child constructor call. First line will be first line of perfect. A super constructor call will be there. Super constructor call will be there. Dilshad and Balram, Nihar. Constructor call will be there, right? What you are typing is a keyword, guys. Okay. Similarly, over here also what will be there, sir? Here also super constructor call will be there. Am I right? Now, what is happening? Let me explain you this. Say, for example, if you are executing a constructor of child class, pay attention now. First line is what? Super constructor call, right? This super constructor call meant for calling constructor of the parent class. Do you agree? This super constructor call is meant for calling the constructor of a parent class. This one. Sir, what are the arguments given right now? No arg arguments. Here also, no arg arguments. Compiler has added this. No problem. This works fine. This super constructor call will call its parent. That is which class? That is which class? Perfect. Perfect. So this will work fine. In object class, there is only one constructor, which is no arg. So this works fine. But let me change the little scenario. As of now, what is happening? Child constructor class has a call to the super constructor call, which is no arg. That works fine because compiler has added a no arg constructor. There is no problem in these scenarios. Now let me move to the next scenario. I hope this scenario is clear to everybody. I rephrase if you want. Parent constructor doesn't have parent constructor class does not have any constructor. Child constructor class does not have any constructor. Compiler will add the constructor in parent as well as in child. But compiler always adds a no arg constructor, and first line of that default constructor is always a super no arg constructor call, which works fine in this scenario. Now, if I add a parameterized constructor in parent class, so don't you think child class, whatever constructor is being added in the child, in that case, what will be the constructor, sir? Access modifier, same as class level, class name, and then no arg, and this way, and don't forget the super constructor call. Now, does this line gonna work? Now, see, compiler will be adding no arg constructor always. Compiler always adds a no arg constructor, and compiler always adds the first line as super no arg constructor call. Compiler always adds a super no arg constructor call, right? In this case, this constructor call will fail. Pay attention to the detail. Why it's gonna be failing? Pay attention, guys. Over here, whichever constructor will be added, that is calling super no arg constructor. In parent class, we have a constructor with the argument. See, that is integer argument constructor. We are calling no arg constructor. Same situation. Read the error carefully. Constructor in class parent constructor cannot be applied to given types. Am I right? And it is clearly saying, see, implicit super constructor, parent no arg constructor is undefined. No arg constructor is undefined. Am I right? Making sense? For default constructor specifically. Are you getting my point? What is happening, guys? Everybody, quick, faster. Everybody. Faster, everybody, quick. Sana? You there? Faster response, please. Okay, pay attention. What usually happens? Whenever we write a class, this is my class. I wrote a class called class constructor. If I am writing a class, empty class, which does not have a constructor, then compiler will do what? Compiler also will add a constructor, which is no arg constructor, default constructor. First line of it is always a super no arg constructor. Is this also clear to everybody? Conclusion. Is this clear? Yes, sir. Now pay attention to the next scenario. This is something added by our compiler. Now moving forward. Programmer has written, say, now pay attention. Earlier, what was the access modifier? Package. Here also, package added. Agree? Now let me write. I have written a class which is marked as public. I am not writing a constructor. If default constructor will be added into this class, that must be marked as faster. That must be marked as perfect. Others, short form is fine, guys. Pub is also fine. Yeah, perfect. Of course, it will be a public constructor, and pay attention. Again, first line is a supernova constructor. The only difference is, since my class is public, the compiler also add a public constructor. That's the whole difference. Is this clear to everybody? Okay, now pay attention. Now, in my class, am I writing any constructor? Pay attention. Am I writing any constructor? Yes, no, fast. Am I writing any constructor? Am I writing? Yes, 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 yes. What is the body of the constructor? What am I writing within the constructor? Nothing. Am I right? Nothing. Then compiler will add something. What is that? Perfect, Bharat. Then compiler will add something. What is that? Perfect. Perfect. Pay attention. Then compiler will add this particular super call. Only the super call it will be adding. Am I clear, everybody? Super constructor call, Nishchita. Okay, perfect. Funda is simple. You write a class. In the class, constructor must be there. If there is no constructor, compiler will add the constructor. Whenever compiler adds the constructor, that is always a no-R constructor. Access modifier same as class level, and body will be having only first line, that is super constructor call. Now, super no-R constructor call. Now let me ask you this one. What about this one? Think and answer, guys. Pretty tricky question it is. Don't jump. Don't rush. Very good, Dilshad. So, no compilation, Bharat. Very good, Bhavna. So, you tell me, compiler will do what? Will do what? What? Perfect. Agree, Bharat, constructor should not have a return type. But what if I have written? And if you observe a small detail, guys. What is the case of this? And what is the case of this? Right? Perfect. Since this class, whatever I wrote, that was a method, not a constructor. Since in my class there was no constructor, then don't you think this entire constructor will be added by the compiler? Yes, no? In my class, what I wrote was a method. Coincidentally, I wrote the same name as class name. That's all. But that is not a constructor. So compiler will add a constructor. So can I say all the combinations are clear? Pay attention now. First line of every constructor must be a this constructor call or super constructor call. Am I clear? Else, compiler will add a super constructor call. Am I clear? Agree? Okay, sir. Pay attention now. Look at the scenario. I have written a class. Sorry, I have written a constructor. I have written a constructor. Same name as class name. Suppose there is a class called public class constructor. Within that, this constructor is written. Pay attention. First line is a system.out.println inside constructor. Second line, I'm writing a super constructor call. Would this be allowed? Would this be allowed? No, sir. This will never gonna be working. Reason is this constructor call or the super constructor call must be always the first line of the constructor. I repeat, first line of the constructor is always this constructor call or a super constructor call. Apart from this, nothing else should be there. Am I clear? Everybody? Super, CC, thank you. So, call to super must be the first statement in the constructor. Pay attention to the details, guys. Few things I expect you to pay attention. Pay attention. First line. It must be a first statement also within the constructor only. I repeat, call to the any constructor will happen with two things, either this constructor call or super constructor call. Sir, what is this constructor call? This constructor call the constructor of same class. Super constructor calls the constructor of the parent class. Am I making sense? Agree? Okay. And these constructor calls, which one? Let me help you with this. Sir, these constructor calls, this and super, both must be only the first line of the body of the constructor. This constructor call and super constructor call must be the first line within the constructor body. So how can both can be there? That is what we will see, guys. Okay. Pay attention. Rule is simple. This constructor call, super constructor call will remain the first line of the constructor body, and either of them will come. Together cannot be coming. Am I clear? Am I clear? And most important, last line, if you see, statement in constructor. So this constructor call, super constructor call, can be called only from the constructor body. You cannot call outside anywhere. This is, I'm telling you now, later we'll conclude. Point is, this constructor call, super constructor call, can be called only from the body of the constructor. That to be as a first statement, either super constructor call or this constructor call. Can I say all the statements are pretty clear to all of you guys? Faster. Chaliye. In that case, pay attention. Now, what do you say? This will work? Will this work? Will this work? Again, this constructor call and a constructor call must be a first statement. So this is also not going to work. Am I clear? And if first, sir, what if I write a constructor where I'm not writing first statement as either the super constructor call or the this constructor call? Then I repeat the question. Listen very carefully, guys. Suppose I wrote a constructor. Let me write down a constructor for you people. Okay. Consider the same class, public class constructor is there. In this constructor class, I do one thing. I'll write down one constructor for you. Say public constructor. I wrote a constructor. In this constructor, I am doing what? I'm adding. I hope you understand. SOP means what? Okay. Say I wrote hi, something. So you tell me, as of now, is there any constructor call happening from the body of the constructor? Yes or no? As of now. As of now. As of now. Is there any constructor call happening? This constructor call, super constructor call is there? No, sir, not there. Perfect. If it is not there, then you tell me one thing. Will compiler add a constructor call? Yes, no? Yes. Perfect. Compiler will add a constructor call that always, whenever compiler adds the call to any constructor, that must be always this or super or any. Very good. Beautiful answers, guys. Excellent. If you are not writing a constructor call as the first statement of your constructor body, then compiler will add a constructor call. Whenever compiler adds a constructor call, that must be always a super no or constructor. Is this 100% clear to each one of you guys? Perfect. Let's move forward. Okay, pay attention to this now. Will this work? Exactly. Everybody says correct. Call to this, this must be first statement in constructor body. Vice versa. Will this also work? Yes, no, fast. Vice versa. Definitely. Just to cover the scenarios I wrote, I am sure all of you are pretty pro with these things now. This also will not work because call to super must be a first statement. You are calling super at the second line. Does not work. So can I say super constructor or this constructor can be used, but not both together. Together cannot be coming. It can be used either super constructor call or this constructor call, but together it cannot come. Making sense, everybody? Faster. This is not going to work. So only inside the constructor body. What do you mean by this? What if I call a super constructor call or this constructor call apart from constructor body? Pay attention. Oh, scenario is not there, but consider, let me write down the code for you. Consider I wrote a class constructor. Wow. I wrote a class constructor, and suppose I have written a constructor. Of course, first line is always a super constructor call, that is done. But can I say I wrote a method? In this method body, can I make a call to this constructor call? Will this scenario work? Will this scenario work? No, no, no. Reason, read the second line, what is written in blue color. Only inside the constructor body. So whenever you are calling this constructor call, or I would say super constructor call, both must be there as part of the constructor body as the first line. These are the only places these can be called. Are you getting my point? This constructor call and super constructor call can be called only from the constructor body and must be always a first line. Both can be called, but not together. Hello, am I audible? Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Am I audible, guys? Yeah, sorry, there is power cut has happened, so system got fluctuated. Just a minute, I'll connect back. 1 minute. Yeah, this was the slide we were working on. Let me share the screen. I hope the screen is visible to all of you guys now. Apologies for the drop. Okay, let's get started. So we were discussing, sir, both cannot be coming together, and call to this constructor and super constructor must be always a first line of our constructor body. They can be called only within the constructor body, and either of them can be called at a time. This is what we have learned so far. Let's move forward. Can I say inside the method body, I can call the constructor? Can I call this and super constructor call from the inside a method body? Yes, no, everybody, only one person responded. Past. Very good. Okay. Bhavna? Nishta? What's wrong with you? I have to keep asking, huh? Chali. Inside the method body, you cannot call it like this. The same scenario, if you see, there is a method called whose name is constructor though, but method has a return type. Hope you agree. This is the only way to distinguish. I mean, this is one of the best way to distinguish between a method call and a constructor, between a method body and a constructor body. Constructor is not meant to have the return type, whereas method must have the return type. So is it a method or a constructor? Is it method or constructor? Short form, M or C, M or C, M or C. Yeah, perfect, Dilshad. I like the lazy people. You type initial, that's enough for me. Perfect. This is a method, not a constructor. Perfect. Inside the method body, can I write any constructor call as the first line? As the first line. I'm asking at least at the first line, can I call a constructor? First line also I cannot call. I repeat the question. Being within the method body, can I call any constructor as the first line, first statement? No, absolutely not allowed. You cannot call any constructor apart from constructor body. Constructors are meant to be called only within the constructor body. Within a method body, if you try to call any constructor call, that will lead to the problem. Problem is this is the problem. The call to super must be first statement in constructor. In constructor. Am I clear? Now, sorry. So can I say super or this can be used both, but not together. Next, only within the constructor body, inside the method body, not allowed. Then this also will it work? Super constructor call I cannot call. What about this constructor call? Can I call this constructor call? Within the method body, can I have this constructor call? Sanav, can I have the constructor call from a method body? Perfect. Again, same problem. Within the constructor, you cannot call. Within the method body, you cannot call. Simple. Conclusion is most important. I expect you to read one after another. We must use this constructor or super constructor only within the constructor body. Only within the constructor body. Must be at the first line, and one of them can be called, but not simultaneously. Can I say all the three statements are clear to all of us? We can write any constructor call, but only within the constructor body, must be first line, and can be used either of them, not simultaneously. Is that clear? Everybody? Now pay attention to this. This or super keyword. Now see, till now we were learning about what? We were learning about the constructor calls. These were the constructor calls. Now we have to learn about the this and super keyword. See, funda is simple. If you want to call parent class constructor, this followed by parent. If you want to call a parent class constructor, super followed by the parenthesis. If you are trying to call this without the parenthesis, that means you are trying to call the attributes of the current class. Attributes, instance variables of the current class. Can I say this means current class instance member, that is instance variable plus instance methods. Am I right? This means current class instance members, those who are not marked as static, whether non-static method, non-static variable, or I can say instance variable, instance method, group together, instance member. Am I clear? This is the keyword to access the current class instance members. Perfect. Similarly, for super, it will be for the parent class. Am I right? If you want to access the instance member, instance variable, or instance method of parent class, use the super keyword. Agree? Perfect. Simple. Okay, sir. Pay attention now. This is probably the last slide we are discussing. I expect you to pay detailed attention to this. Understand everything very carefully. 3 SOPs are there right next to you. I expect you to evaluate and tell me the answer. And while printing the answer, type 1, what is the answer? Type 2, what is the answer? Type 3, what is the answer? And one shot send it. Don't send separate. Take your time. Which one will work and what would be the output? Which one will not work? 1, 2, 3 one shots, Dilshad. Try again. All of you, if you have no try your best. If you can't do it, leave it. Okay, chalo, I'll do one thing easy for you. One by one, we'll discuss. What about this one? This output to this only, everybody tell me. Chintamani, Chintamani, Chintu. Okay. Only to this. You tell me if I try to print name, what answer is coming? If you don't know something, type DK, no problem. I'll explain, guys. Chill. Type DK if you have no idea. Chalega. One is Chintamani. Okay, everybody's Chintamani. What is so special about Chintamani, sir? Let's see. Okay. Now pay attention. When I say name, okay, na? Name is a variable call. Agree? Whenever I'm saying name and if at all, there is nothing written before, I mean, there is no prefix for it. So this name itself will be converted like this dot name. And let me use different color of fonts. Yes, it leads to confusion. And font size little bold. I will make it 36. Okay. Then can I say name? Perfect. Yeah, this makes sense. If I'm writing name, actually, this will be prefixed with this dot name. This will become this dot name. If you're not writing this, then compiler will add this. Because you are trying to access the attribute of the same class. You are trying to access the same class attribute. Can you see this is the instance variable of the same class? Yes, no, quick. Very good, Bharat, as well. Perfect. The point is, when I'm trying to access this from here, whenever I'm trying to access it from here, in this case, if at all, I am not writing this to it, so this will be written and it is pointing to this one. Am I clear? And when I say this dot name, what does it mean by this dot name? Whenever you'll be creating an object, within the object, this current object dot name, that is also clear, which is nothing but Chintamani. When I say super dot name, so it will go to the parent class. Which is the parent class as of now? Parent class is, this one is your parent, person is a parent. In person, there is an attribute called name, its name, it will be printing. Am I making sense to all of you? Everybody? Perfect. Okay. I have an announcement after this. So this is absolutely clear. When I say name, it will say this dot name, and this dot name is nothing but current class attribute name. So answer is Chintamani, then again Chintamani, then again Chintu. Can I say all of us are pretty much clear with these things till now? Can I say everything about constructors we understood pretty well? Everybody? Okay. Last one more slide is left over. Let me cover that part. Pay attention. So can I say this and super keywords meant for instance members, variables or methods. Whereas when I say this keyword, I meant current class instance member. When I say super keyword, I'm calling the parent class instance members. Am I correct, right? Now pay attention. How about static member? Can I access static member with the help of the this or super? What do you think? No, sir. Static is absolutely not going to be accessed with the instance part. So over here, if you see, pay attention. What is happening? Person is a class having a name as Chintu. Employee is a class which extends person having a name Chintamani. Same scenario, na? Same scenario is there. Huh? Can you see? Perfect. Dilshad has got it. Reason is, pay attention. Slight detail attention is required. Okay, pay attention. What is happening? Sir, you are trying to call name. From where? A static method. See, pay attention. What is our static method right now? Main is a static method, right? You're calling from a static method. What? Non-static data. Will it gonna work? Will it gonna work? No, obviously. Right? That is the problem over here. That is the reason for all the three variables, error is gonna come. Bharat, point is you cannot call instance members from a static area. See, static area is something which will be created way before the object is created, right? During the class loading itself, static gets memory allocated, right? At that time, there is no object. So how can you call a variable or a method which is part of the object, which is yet not created? That is the problem. Am I making sense, Bharat? Great. Okay. Dilshad, you remember because I scolded. Wow. Good. I'm happy that you remember. And I'm sorry that I scolded once upon a time. Sorry. Chalo. And I have a very important request to all of you guys, because yesterday I was talking to a couple of students and I have got to know one thing which is absolutely not entertainable. Guys, see, interviews are lined up for you. You're attending interviews, fine. Or you would have already attended many interviews before coming to this placement preparation program. Agree? Guys, there is no point if you attend an interview and you can't tell me what happened in the interview. I'll tell you. I mean, consider a scenario. You get into an interview room. You have given the interview, and maybe because of any number of reasons, you could not clear that interview, right? And you simply come and tell, sir, they asked about Java and I could not crack the interview. Guys, I'll not be able to help you unless you tell me what questioning is happening inside the interview room. See, it's been ages I didn't go for an interview, for a fresher especially, right? So I have not that visibility what is happening in interview these days, because market is keep changing. And as of now in interview, what is happening, it's your responsibility to come and tell me, sir, these are the questions being asked, this is the level of questioning is happening. I'll ensure your preparation will be above that level. Are you getting my point, everybody? So make a rule: if you attend an interview, ensure the moment you step out of the interview room, immediately take out your phone, open WhatsApp, contact me, ping me in the WhatsApp chat and simply say, these are the questions were asked. You don't even need to type. Click on the mic icon and tell, sir, 5 questions asked, question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4, question 5. You don't even tell me whether you could handle, you could not handle. That's fine if you're not comfortable. If you're comfortable and willing to discuss with me, that's great. But at least bare minimum expectation, you tell me, sir, these are the exact questions happening in the interview room. Can I have that expectation from each one of you guys? Faster. Bare minimum expectation, you attend any number of interview, wherever, from we stand for you from outside, wherever. If you are attending an interview, your responsibility, right after the interview, update me. And I'm sure there is nobody who does not have my WhatsApp access, right? Everybody can communicate with me over WhatsApp. All your activity needs to be done is, as soon as you step out of interview, take out your phone, go to WhatsApp, look into my chat, and simply don't need to type. Simply tell me these are the questions. So that I'll ensure your preparation is above that questioning level. Am I clear? Everybody? That's the bare minimum expectation I have. Okay, sir. So one last thing. Let me write down the differences between this and super, which I will be listening from your end. Can I say visible on screen? Yeah, perfect. Super constructor call, comma, this constructor call versus, I will say, super keyword and this keyword. Together we will write it, okay? These are few points which we must conclude as part of our today's discussion. Let's see what all we have now. Okay, sir. Tell me, can I say which one is constructor call? First or second? You tell me this. This is first part, this second part. Which one is the constructor call? Which one is the constructor call? Perfect. First one is our, this is first thing is these both are the call to a constructor. Constructor call. And what are these? What are these called? What are these called? Perfect, son. Bullseye. These are called keywords. This keyword, super keyword. This constructor call, super constructor call. Am I clear? Okay, sir. Moving forward. Now let me tell me the difference. Sir, this, sorry, super constructor, this constructor, and super keyword, this keyword. Meant for what? Super constructor call meant for calling which class, guys? Fast. Short form is also fine. Perfect. Very good. To call parent class, I would say no arg constructor. Am I right? How about this one? To call current class, no arg constructor. Agree? Let's talk about super keyword. Super keyword meant for, by the way, readable. Yes, readable. Super keyword meant for to referring, access. Perfect. To access parent class, what? Perfect. Not variables. No. Instance members. They are called members together. See, if you tell variable or a method, it's a partial answer, no? With the super keyword, I can call parent method, parent variable, both. So instance members is the right. Perfect. Okay. How about this? To access current class, response in chat, current class, what? Current class, constructor, Nikhil. Man, is it a constructor call? Current class object, object nishchita, we would say instance member, right? Verbiage, I mean, right? Terminology is to say instance members. So super keyword or this keyword meant for accessing the instance members. This for current class, super for parent class. This or super keyword meant for accessing the instance members. Super for parent, this for current. Simple. Call. This constructor call, super constructor call, they call no R constructor of the parent class or current class. Am I clear? Okay, sir. Now pay attention. Next point. Where all it can be used. Where all it can be used. Super constructor call or this constructor call, where all it can be used. This is your second point, by the way. Third point. Where all it can be used. Perfect. Only within constructor body. Okay, sir. How about this one? Where all it can be used? Super keyword, this keyword, where all it can be used. Anywhere. Okay, perfect. As first line. Somebody wrote, very correct. As first line. Where all this can be used, guys? Except in, perfect. It can be used except static block. Agree? Everybody? Used. It can be used anywhere except static area. In a static method, static block, you cannot use it. That's all. That's everywhere you can use it. Agree? Okay, sir. Probably the last point. And this actually I wanted to make a last point as great. This must be first line. First line always. But what do you think? Is there any conditions for this super keyword or this keyword where in a non-static area? Fine. First line, second line, is there any rule? Or you can use any rule? Nah, no rule, sir. No restrictions at all. So with this, I will end the discussion of super and this along with the constructor, default constructor, constructor chaining, everything. I hope everything is clear. Constructor chaining is nothing but calling the constructor from one body to another. One constructor to another constructor you're calling is nothing but constructor chaining. It can be of the same class, it can be of parent class. Okay. Can I say this super keyword constructor calls, default constructor, everything pretty much clear to all of us? Everybody, fast up. Chaliye. Let's make progress ahead. Okay. So okay. I'm sure you are pretty much clear with the constructor overloading concept. Do you want me to revise or pretty much clear? Constructor overloading, constructor overloading. Clear? Clear. Okay. Can I say constructor overriding? Constructor overriding. Listen to the question carefully. Overriding. Any idea about constructor overriding? Perfect, Bharat. Yes. Very good, Bhavna. Also correct. Point is, there is nothing called constructor overriding. Constructor can be overloaded but cannot be overridden. We'll discuss when I'll talk about it. Okay. When we'll talk about polymorphism, that time we'll get into it. But basically, constructor chaining can be done, constructor overloading can be done, overriding is not possible for constructors. Overriding means what? Parent class method is being predefined in the child class. Same name should be there. Agree? In child class, how can I have a parent class name constructor? Agree? Okay. So can I say I'll wipe this, super in this, I'll move forward. Pretty much clear? Arey yaar, this is fluctuating again and again. So what's next now? What's next? What's the next topic we should jump in, guys? Answer. Only one, two people have responded. Faster. Excuse me. Okay. So encapsulation. First, shall we start with encapsulation? I mean, next topic is our OOPS features. One. So next is our OOPS principles. OOPS is something we are going to discuss now. So basically, 4 pillars of OOPS. Are we aware? What are those 4 pillars of OOPS? What are those 4 pillars of OOPS? I mean, see, conceptually, we will make combinations and understand. Just definition wise, I'll cover it and move forward. First is encapsulation. Am I right? Nobody is responding. Huh? 4 pillars. 4 pillars. First is encapsulation. Second, inheritance. Third one, polymorphism. Fourth one, abstraction. Right? These are the areas. Am I right? These are the 4 pillars of our OOPS. Done. So, I mean, do you really want me to dictate the dictation? I mean, definition of encapsulation and so on, or what do you want? Definition and all shall I dictate now? Is it really required? Absolutely no. Somebody says, okay, people are done with the definition and all. This is what we have learned. Implementation is what we need to see now. So, shall I start? Basic, I'll tell you. Few questioning if I need to ask. If at all in these areas, if at all, questioning is happening. Conceptual definition, they'll ask what is the encapsulation. Wrapping the state and behavior into single unit is nothing but the encapsulation. Making the making the state directly not accessible using the private keyword. Am I right? Inheritance. How many types are there? How many types are there? Array, inheritance type. Start with me. Single, multi-level, multiple, fourth one hierarchical, fifth one hybrid. One more is there, which is conceptual. What is that? Anybody remember? Conceptual. That is just theoretical is there, theoretically. I'm sad to know nobody remembers. Okay. Hard. We have discussed. We have discussed this one also. But none of the language support, so let's not worry about it. Let's make progress with single inheritance means one parent, one child. Am I right? I'll complete this way only. Okay, na? Comfortable, na? So one parent, one child. Multi-level means one parent has one child that further has a grandchild. Am I right? Sequence is there. Multiple levels are there. Agree? Okay, sir. Multiple means many parent, one child. Am I right? Hierarchical means one parent, multiple child. Agree? All of you? Arey, respond. What's wrong with you? Okay, sir. Hybrid is nothing but combo of all the above. You make the combination of others, becomes the hybrid. And our Java does not support Am I right? Can I say Java does not support multiple inheritance due to one problem called, what is that problem? Due to one problem, perfect. That problem is called diamond access problem. Now, what does it mean by diamond access problem? If at all somebody asks, Palla is simple, sir. Sir, suppose there are two classes are there, two parent classes are there in my application. I have created one class, say P1, another class is P2. Agree? Am I right? Multiple parents is what? P1 and P2, two parents are there. Either way, so much of space. P1 and P2, two classes I have created, sir. And there is only one class, which is child, extending the from both the classes. Agree? This is what the scenario of our multiple inheritance, yes, no? Sir. But where is this diagram looks like diamond? Diamond will be, because the thing is, no matter whichever class you write, a universal papa. Who is the universal papa in our Java? Very good. Thank you. I'll write the short form. Hope you understand. There is a class called object, which is considered to be father of all the classes created in Java. So don't you think even this P1 and P2 are child of object? So this way, if you see, a prism sort of structure is coming, which is one of the face of the diamond. This way, one of the face of the diamond, one of the side of the diamond. This is nothing but called diamond access problem. In this problem, what is the actual problem? Suppose there is a method I have written M1. Here also I have written M1. Okay, na? And consider, see, it does not create problem in all the scenarios. There is a specific one scenario where multiple inheritance fail. There is only one scenario. That only I am explaining. Very important. Point is, there is only one scenario when diamond access problem comes. Let me help you with that. But scenario understand. Two parent classes P1, P2. Both have M1, M1 method, and both are being inherited to child. Am I clear with this much? Everybody? Okay, sir. And for time being, can I say, I'll create the class only. Say, I'll start from here. Is it visible? Say, first class I wrote here. Say class P1. This class has P1 as a method, a public void M1. Okay. In this, I am writing one SOP will later. Then another class I have created, class P2. In this class P2, again I am writing same method, public void M1. Simple. Okay, na? In this, I'm writing one SOP. Say from P1 class. In this, I'm writing another SOP from P2. Done. And I'm writing yet another class. Say class C extends P1 comma P2. Although this does not even work. What if it work? Where is the problem gonna come? I'm explaining that. Are you getting my point? I do agree this is not gonna work. Extends one class comma another class does not work in Java. Suppose what if it would have been working? Then I'm asking. Okay, now? I hope all the three classes are clear to you. Let me do Chitrakari. These are those three classes. I hope visible little bit. Fine. Now pay attention. I'm writing a demo class where I'm using method. Which method? Our favorite? Public static void main method I wrote, sir. Okay. Inside main method, sir, I am creating an object. First of all, I'm creating an object of P1. Parent P1 equal to new parent P1. New P1. Parent, no, P1. Class name itself is P1. Sorry. P1, say chotu P1 equal to new of P1. Then I say P2 class chotu new P2 object. Then I say C, there is only one class. C is equal to new of new of C. Done. Is this clear? I have created three objects, one for P1, one for P2, one for C class. Till here clear? Everybody, all the scenarios? P1, P2, coincidentally, they have the same method M1, M1. Absolutely same. Method signature, method name, as well as the arguments, same. Only difference is the body. Am I clear, everybody? Faster. Okay. Now the actual problem will start. Let me see till how long I can go. Okay. Now pay attention. Very important. Sir, if at all I'm saying this P1, P1.M1. If I'm calling right after this year, then which one will be executed? Which one will be executed? Obviously, this one will be executed. If I say P2.M1, no doubt, what will be executed? Of course, our P2 class M1 method executed. Now the twist comes when I say C.M1. Pay attention. In C class, is there any M1? In C class, is there any M1? No. Sorry, I should ask this way. Does C class has written M1 method? Does C class defining M1 method? Does C class defining M1 method? It is inheriting. Agree? It is inheriting. Perfect. It is inheriting. It is not written anything. Perfect. Now in that case, let me ask you. Sir, C.M1, if I say in C class, if M1 would have been there is no problem at all. If not there, then I should not directly throw error. Rather, I'll go to the parent classes and check. I hope you remember. Agree? Then I'll go to the parent classes and check. How many parents are there? How many parents are there? One or multiple? One or multiple? Very good. Two. One or multiple? Multiple parents are there. Now, if I need to go and check M1, I will go to the P1. M1 found. Yes, sir. Can you see everybody? M1 is found or not? Yes, sir. This is M1 found of P1. But unfortunately or coincidentally, I would say M1 is present in our P2 class also. Now the confusion is when you say C.M1, this method call should go for which one? This one or this one? Are you getting my point? Which method call should be accessed? P1 method or P2 method? This situation is also called as, what is this called as? Ambiguous situation. Ambiguous means ambiguity. Very good. Perfect, Nishchita. Super. I remember. I'm so happy people are responding keywords also. Buzzwords are coming out of your responses. Very good, guys. Thank you. So the point is, this particular method call becomes ambiguous method call, because of which now it is very difficult to decide P1 method call or P2 method call. That is where diamond access problem is coming. From C, I am calling M1. Which M1? P1 M1, P2 M1. That clarity is not there. Am I clear to everybody? This is the main reason Java does not support Dynamic access dispatch, DMP, dynamic method dispatch, that is called. Okay, perfect. This is the reason Java does not support multiple inheritance. Because if somebody asks in detail, why Java does not support multiple inheritance? If you simply say diamond access, he will say prove it. Proof it's simple. Create two classes having same methods. Create one child class where you don't write that method. Create another class. Create an object of child. Try to call the method, which is coming from both the classes. Which one to be called? Ambiguity, confusion. That is why Java does not support. Am I clear? Everybody, are you clear? Why Java does not support multiple inheritance? Are you clear, everybody? Fast. Okay, in that case, what if I say, sir, Java does support multiple inheritance? Would you agree? Java does support multiple inheritance. Would you agree? Arey yaar, this is not fair. Just now we concluded Java does not support multiple inheritance. Now we are talking Java support multiple inheritance. Yes, Java support multiple inheritance, but with respect to only interface. Very good, guys. Of course, I mean, probably today or tomorrow itself, tomorrow definitely we'll get into the interfaces discussion. Okay, so can I say why Java does not support multiple inheritance with respect to classes? That is clear to all of us. Am I sure? Shall I move ahead? Shall I move ahead? Or yeah, wait a bit. By the way, can anybody unmute and talk something? Let me see whether I can hear you or not. Can anybody unmute? Bharat, Sana, Dilshad, Nishchita, Nishta, Bhavna. Can anybody unmute, please? Yeah. Can you speak of something? Are you talking, by the way? Yeah, somebody. Nihar, are you speaking something, man? Yeah, I can't hear anybody. Wait a minute. Bharat, I guess you're trying to say something, man. Bharat, can you hear me? Yes, no? Respond.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can't hear you people. There is
Hello.
some audio issues there. I'll get this fixed. So if at all you have to say something, please respond in chat. I saw previous class session. I was writing that ID as the some in double quotes, and there was also a string data type was there for student ID. There should not be an issue. There was a typing mistake from my end. Sorry for that. And one of the students was telling me, sir, this is wrong. But who listened? I continued in my flow. Sorry. Chaliye. I'll move forward to, okay, one more next. So inheritance wise, if at all any questioning will happen, if with respect to inheritance, majority time it will be asked why Java does not support multiple inheritance with respect to classes, but it support with multiple with respect to interfaces. Why? That is the main question we have. And they may ask the difference between, tell me the difference between these inheritance type, but that is pretty much clear to all of you. Shall I move ahead, guys? Everybody? Yes. Okay. Now, next most important topic, polymorphism. 100% questioning is happening for this also. Shall I start getting into the polymorphism? Enough of inheritance? Don't worry, nobody will ask what is cyclic inheritance. Java does not support this also. Majority, none of the language supports cyclic inheritance. Cyclic inheritance is simple. Class A extends class B extends back to A. Simple. Forms a cycle, never end up. Simple. Shall I move? Shall I move to polymorphism? Yes, no, guys, faster. By the way, sorry. No. Moving forward. Okay. Definition of polymorphism, I believe you would know already. I'll not waste time into those areas. Type also, do you know? Can I assume that? How many type of polymorphism is there? Very good. What are those? Names are very interesting, okay? One is called compile time. Another one is called run time. Right? Other names are there. Can anybody help me with the other name? First type of name is compile time or runtime polymorphism. Second type of name is chaliye. Somebody responded, so I'll use the most popular term, overloading. Overloading over here. Overriding. Okay, sir. Third type of name. हाँ भाई. Third type of name. Nishchita has responded. Bhavna has also said. One is called, very good, static or dynamic polymorphism. Now let me explain. Sir, polymorphism, very much clear. One thing having multiple form, compile time and run time. Two type of polymorphism are there. Compile time is also called as overloading and static polymorphism. Run time is also called as overriding or dynamic polymorphism. Agree? Okay, sir. Few things about method overloading. We have pretty much comfortable with this. Yesterday also one round of revision happened. Simple. Can anybody help me? Wait a minute. I'll give you a few points which will help you remember it so that you will not make mistakes in this type of question. Pay attention. Whenever you start your explanation, first talk number of classes within one class. First thing is within one class, multiple methods. Within one class, multiple methods having same name but differ in terms of, differ with respect to arguments. How many ways it can differ? How many ways it can differ? My students remember these things, huh? Very well. ये तो भूल ही नहीं सकते. First one. First way. How many ways it can differ? Three ways. First way. First way. Fast. First way. First. अरे यार सब गड़बड़ कर रहे हो. रुको. First way is always the. First is always number of argument. Second way comes type of argument. Third way comes sequence of argument. Am I clear? Number of arguments does not match within the same class, then having same name. Second, multiple methods having same name, but their argument types does not match, although they have the same numbers. Third one, sequence does not match, combinations. By the way, do you need examples for this or shall I move forward? All of you, for multi-threading, do you need example or shall I move? Move. And I remember in last where I was discussing, very good example we have discussed on the method overloading. You remember the scenario? Which classes we were discussing? Anybody? Chai. You remember? Yeah. Chai. I mean, those who were there in my batch, they would definitely know. Puneri chai. Puneri chai. See, the people still remember. Thank you, guys. Chalo, let's talk about overriding. If you are opening your mouth for overriding, first thing, most important thing you must say, let me tell you, must multiple classes. First of all, multiple classes. Most important. In overloading, one class having multiple methods. Same name, different terms of argument. Here, classes are multiple. Having what? Multiple classes must have. Perfect, Dilshad. Having is a relationship. Having is a relationship. What is the relationship? Inheritance only, right? There must be a parent-child classes. Multiple classes having is a relationship. Second point comes. Same method signature. Same method signature. What does it mean by same method signature, sir? What does it mean by signature, first of all? Method signature ante ye. Method signature means differ in terms of body. Yeah, we'll come to the body. Same method signature means what? Same method signature and differ with respect to body or implementation. Both are absolutely acceptable. Perfect written type. No. Written type is not part of it. Method signature means name of the method plus arguments of the methods. Written type is not part of the signature, Dilshad. We'll discuss. And don't worry, I'll be having detailed combination discussion on this. As per me, right now we are talking polymorphism. Theoretically, practically, it will come back again. Where combinations will come, you have to think a lot. Many combinations are coming. Be ready for that. Okay, name and arguments. Perfect. Method header. Very good. Very good, guys. Okay. Shall I say this much is clear to all of you? Basic difference. And don't worry, I'll ensure. Why is it called compile time? Why is it called runtime? Why is it called static? Why is it called dynamic? That also will be discussed with you. Am I clear? By the way, are you confident right now why overloading is called as compile time or static polymorphism? Can you justify this right now? Why overloading is called static or compile time? Can you justify this? Then I'll not cover that point. I'll move ahead. If you are sure, we'll not talk about it. Do you know? Yes, no? Why? Bharat, that is the point. Very good answer. Sir, it is polymorphism happens at the compile time. That's why compile time polymorphism. And let me tell you, none of the compilation, none of the polymorphism happen at the compile time. Everything will happen once the object has been created at runtime. First myth. Not sure, DK. Fine. And don't worry. Pretty concept it is. The only thing is we didn't explore that area. Kindergarten level question it is. We'll discuss. Let me come to all the combinations of overloading and overriding. Then you'll understand. But for time being, if you really want to know, method overloading will be done by the compiler using reference type. And overriding will be done by the JVM at runtime using current executing object, running object. Hope you remember, Bharat. You remember? Method resolution will be done by the compiler using reference type in overloading. In overriding, method resolution will be done by JVM using runtime object. We used to discuss. Yes. Others, don't worry. From tomorrow itself, I'll start discussing all these combinations. All will be sorted. Okay. Shall I move? Wipe the board? Shall I wipe the board? Okay. Theoretical questions I have covered. Now let me move to the practicals one by one. Just give me a minute. I just need to transfer a file. Have some water meanwhile. I'll start. Give me 5 minutes. Nihar, if you are telling something, man, I really can't hear you. There is no audio output from my system. Request you to type, buddy. Okay, let me just connect in a moment, guys. Just a minute. I'll share the screen in a minute, guys. Just let me open. Let me know once the screen is visible. Is it visible now? Visible? Chaliye. So we are starting with. Respond, bhai. We are starting with all of you. First, we'll start with the prerequisites. So before getting into that, let me talk few things. As of now, do you think, as of now, without object orientation principle, this is what the state? मजा नहीं आ रहा है. Wait, let me complete the object oriented principles. I am sure all of you will say. By the way, is it audible? Not audible? Not audible. Wow, wow, kya baat hai? Wow, wow, super. I'll do one thing for you. Modi ji is saying, without object oriented principles, मजा नहीं आ रहा है. Here, lip sync, मजा नहीं आ रहा है. You will say soon, मजा आया. But anyways, let's get back to the point. Prerequisites are really important, and few things are there. Let me explain you. That is nothing but called declarations and access modifiers. Fatafat. So few things about the Java source structure. Wherever we need to import files, import statement, you remember package and all that I need to explain you. Import statements are of two types: implicit and explicit. Simple. Introduced in 1.5, not much important. Yeah. By the way, let me ask you, if I write a one source code with this way, one file I wrote where class A, class B, class C, three classes I have defined, what should be the name of the file? Fast. If you don't know, type DK, fatafat. I mean, these are basics. I'll complete, move and forward. Faster. You can put any name. There is no everybody. Please respond, guys. Hello. 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 I expect you to respond, guys. If you don't know, type DK. Most welcome. अरे यार हाँ चलेगा. You can give any name. There is no problem. If first of all, whenever you're writing a Java source code, it is not recommended to write multiple class definition within one file. But despite of that, if you end up writing it, as of now, you can give any name. Let me tell you. Read. It is often said, even you would have heard initial days, whenever we are writing our program name, that should be same name as the class name. Hope you remember. Class name should be chosen on the main method. Whichever class has a main method, same name should be given. Yes or no? Absolutely wrong concept it is. So kuch bhi concept. I'll tell you the actual reasons. Pay attention now. As of now, pay attention. Again, I have written multiple class definition within one source code. And if you observe, class A is marked as public. Yes or no? Very good, Bharat. Perfect. Bharat has already answered. Class A is marked as public, and rule is within one source code, there can be one and only one class definition marked as public. And whichever class is marked as public, that class name should become the file name. I repeat, when you're writing your source code, if you're writing multiple class definitions, then at most one class can be marked as public, and that public class name should be your source code name. Only A is allowed, rest all of them will not be allowed. Now pay attention to this scenario where I have two classes A and B marked as public. In this case, what name should be given? Pay attention. You cannot name it at all. Pay attention. Class B is public, should be declared in a file B. If I save this file as a class, see, actually as of now, class A and class B, two classes which are marked as public. If I save as a class A, then it will say class B is public, should be declared as in a file name. If I say save this file as a class B, then it will say class A is public. So recommendation wise, rule wise, there should be at most one class which will be marked as public within one source code. And recommendation wise, there you should not write multiple class definition within one source code. Am I clear to everybody, guys? Shall I move? Pay attention now. Pay. I have kept the file name as temp.java. Although class A, class B, class C, class D, 4 classes are there. Agree? Agree? Arey Baba, what's wrong with you all? Simple scenarios are there. You have to be jumping and answering all these things. And people, those who are not responding, guys, you're going to have it from me. I'm purposely ignoring it. Please don't test my patience. Tejaswini, what's wrong with you? I have to keep responding your name. Pay attention. I have written 4 class definition: class A, class B, class C, class D. Done. And observe, ABC have main method. See, ABC have main method. SOPs are there. Main in class A, class B, class C. Simple. But class D does not have a main method. Do you agree? Do you agree? Okay, sir. Now pay attention. Slowly observe it. Very important. I'm getting on the details now. And I am saving this file as a temp.java. Can I be able to save this class as a temp.java? Yes or no? First, what do you think? Can I save this file as a temp.java? Is it allowed? Bharat, yes. Pay attention to the rule. If at all your class definitions, one of them is marked as public, then that name should be there. As of now, none of the class is marked as public. I can give whichever name I want. Agree? Yes, then there is no problem. Okay, sir. Now I can give any random name I want. But when I compile this, what will happen? Sir, after compiling a source code, .class file will be generated. Agree? Simple rule. When you compile any source code, Java source code, .class file will be generated. But we have learned partial. Actual answer is, whenever you compile a source code, bytecode will be generated. .class file will be generated. As many number of .class files are there in that. I repeat, if you see this code right now, how many class definitions are there? Faster. Exactly, Bharat. 4 class definitions are there. Class A, class B, class C, class D. If I compile this temp.java, which I'm naming as temp.java, if I compile temp.java, 4 class definitions means 4 dot class file will be generated. Agree. 4 dot class file will be generated. Agree. Reason 4 class definitions are written, and every class definition 1 dot class file will be generated. Then pay attention. In that case, those dot class file name will be a.java, b.java, c.java, sorry, a dot class, b dot class, c dot class, and d dot class, not Java. Agree? Those dot class file will be a dot class, b dot class, c dot class, d dot class. Same name as the class name. Agree? Moving forward. Let me explain. Pay attention. See, I have compiled Java temp.java. If I execute Java temp, this will work, yes or no? Pay attention, it is not going to work. Reason? There is nothing called temp.java, temp.class file. Are you getting my point? Everybody, or shall I practically explain you? Guys, if it is not clear to you, I can explain you practically. Rather than running the slides, I can show you the code. Shall I show you? Yeah. Then तो बढ़िया है यार, फिर तो आ जाओ. Wait a minute, let me share the screen and all. I hope the screen is visible. Let me recreate the scenario. Say class A. I'll simply say public static void main string array of args. Here I will say system.out.println of main method in class A. Am I right? So let me do one thing, copy paste. Class B, class C, class D. D should not have the main method. That's the whole scenario all about. Class A, class B, class C, and class D. Now let me save it with temp.java. Okay, let me open the command prompt. I hope the command prompt is also visible to you all. Now let me compile. Before compiling, let me do one thing. I'll go to this job location. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. To make you understand better, I'll do one thing. Here only I have written temp.java. Yeah. Okay. I'll do one thing. I'll create another folder, dummy folder. Say demo. Okay. Dummy only I'll create the folder name. Okay. And here I'll say cd dummy. And this particular file, I'll save it as within the dummy as well. To show you how many classes are being generated and all. Pay attention. What is this? There is a folder called dummy where I have only one .java file. Agree? What is that .java file? temp.java. Am I clear to everybody? Scenario is clear? Okay. Let me come to the dummy folder. I'm already there. Now here, what I will do, I will compile this file. Which file? temp.java. So I will say java c temp.java. I hope you all agree. Shall I compile? Yes, no, quick. Okay. And after compilation, if compilation is successful, we are expecting how many .class files? We are expecting how many .class files? 4. We are expecting how many .class files? Everybody, you have to be fast. Compilation successful. Wait for this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see all these are .class files? A, B, C, D. Our source code name is temp.java. Oh, wow. Let me do one thing. Let me delete these .class files, and just for the practical purpose, I'll mark one of the class as public. One of the class I marked as public as per the rule. In your source code, whichever class is marked as public, that should be the name of your file. Am I right? Am I right? But as of now, I have given some different name, temp. Let's see whether this compiles or not. Pay attention. Read the error very carefully, guys. Class A is public, should be declared a file name a.java. What if I write, consider, I write multiple classes as public? Then everywhere error should come. See, class A be public, B be public. These are the issues are there. I hope you are clear with me. Shall I move to the next one? Okay. Then, sir, as of now, let's see. Okay, there is no dot class file. Let me say Java C temp dot Java. Done. Oops, sorry. Oh, sorry, my bad. Sorry, my bad. I'll remove this public. So if there is no public class, then you are allowed to keep any name. Compilation is successful. Let's see. Dot class files have been created. Now, if you see, if I say temp, Java temp, when I say Java temp, guys, I'll tell you at the end, no, dot class is already suffixed. Dot class is suffixed. When I say Java temp, dot class will be suffixed. So this will become Java temp dot class. And you tell me over here, is there any temp dot class file? No. Is there any file? Temp dot Java. Sorry, temp dot class. My bad. Is there any file called temp dot class in this folder? Is there any temp dot class file? No, sir. If I try to execute this, should lead an error. Read the error very carefully. Could not find or load main class temp. Okay. In that case, sir, if I say Java A, what do you think? Is there any A dot class file is there? Yes or no? Faster? Yes. In that case, this is also giving error. I'll tell you the class path error. Wait a minute. Now it should work. See, working. Now if I say Java B, I'm expecting main method in class B. Yes or no? Everybody. Yes. Oops. Away. Copy paste mistake is there. That's all. Sorry, my bad. I have to recompile. Java C temp, I say Java A. Perfect. When I say Java B, B class. When I say Java C, C class. When I say Java D. Now, will it work? Will it work? Will this work? Nah, sir, there is no dot class file is there, but that dot class file does not have a method with this signature. Am I right? See, it is clearly telling main method not found in class B. Please define the main method as this. See, it is not telling. See, let me say Java temp. In this case, error is different. Could not find or load main class. It is saying I am not able to load or find main class. Here it is saying what? Main method not found in class D. Are you with me? Differences are there in the scenarios. Agree? Arey yaar. So now can I come back to the slide? What is happening? Is it clear to you all? Okay, then. Chaliye, moving forward. So temp.class file itself is not there. That's the reason this error is coming. When I say Java D, we know error main method not found in class D. That is also clear to us. Shall I move ahead? Shall I move? Scenarios are clear. Now, I'm sure all of us know since array list, this array list class, this class test will not work, which is array list call is the reason. Array list coming from a package called Java dot. Array list is coming from a package called Java dot. Let me see how many of you remember. Very good. Util package. No, lang package is not there, man. Util package. That is the reason it is not working. Which all places? This array list and this array list is unknown. Wait for it. The point is, see, let me explain you this way. Try to understand. In our Java, few classes are given as by default to us. Say, for example, there are few classes like string. I'm sure you know string, system. Agree? These are the classes given by default accessible to us. So, for accessing these classes, for using these classes in our source code, we don't need to write any import statement at all, because these are the classes coming from a default package, and default package name is java.lang. Agree? This is the only package which have bunch of classes, and these bunch of classes are by default given to us. Am I clear to you, everybody? These bunch of classes are by default given to us. Say classes like string, system, any other class. Can anybody help me? String, system, or all the total? How many wrapper classes are there in Java? Total how many? Perfect. Total 8 primitive data type. For 8 primitive data type, primitive wrapper classes are given to us. All the wrapper classes are also immutable. So these are the lang package classes. To get them, I don't need to write anything, but different packages are also there. Say util. I'm sure you would have heard a package called java.util, where collection related classes are there, like ArrayList, HashSet, linked list, remap. Many are there. I am not getting into the details of all that. Agree? And in this, even all the exception classes are also there. Hope you remember all the exception classes. Arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, everything is coming from where? Right? Scanner is coming from util. Very good. Madam has pointed a very nice point. Scanner is coming from util. Of course, we have learnt about it. Done. Now, shall I move forward? So if I need to access any of the classes from this package or any other package apart from lang, then I have to write one statement called import. Agree? So if I need to access these classes, which classes? Out of the lang package. If I need to access these classes, I have to write import. What do I need to write? Import java dot util dot java dot util dot, then the class name, whichever class you want, like ArrayList, suppose. Then inside your class you can make use of ArrayList. Or another way to write it, same thing, is import java dot util dot star. First one is called the explicit import, where I have to write the class name explicitly. Second one is called implicit import. I hope you are getting my point out, everybody. Am I clear? When I am calling anything with this implicit import, all the classes of this location will be added into my class definition. Are you with me? This is the main difference between implicit export, implicit import, and explicit import. Am I clear? Am I clear? I'll move forward fatafat. Let's not waste much time into it. And let me share the screen quick. Now pay attention. So in this way, there is no import statement written. If I would have written an import statement before the class definition for ArrayList, it would work fine. Moving forward. This is also a recommended way. If you see java.util.arraylist, wherever I'm using ArrayList, I'm writing java.util.arraylist. This also is a recommended way. You can write it this way. There is no problem. But with this, what is the problem? If hundreds of places I'm using ArrayList, everywhere I have to write java.util.arraylist, java.util.arraylist. That is a tedious one. So these calls are repeatedly, these package details are repeatedly written. Rather than this, you can simply say, wait a minute, rather than writing it this way, I can simply say once only, what? Import java.util.arraylist. So not all the places I have to write java.util, java.util, and everywhere I can use it. To avoid this way calling, I'll write one import statement. Am I clear? Everybody? Faster. Okay, sir. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, guys. Sorry, shall we continue? Okay. Now import a statement of two types: explicit, implicit. Explicit you'll write the class name, implicit you'll write the star. Which one is recommended? Writing explicit way is the recommended. Based on requirement is the wrong answer. People give in interview. If couple of import statement, then explicit, else implicit. This is a wrong answer. Always and always recommended is explicit. Always you should write the specific class name rather than importing all the class files from a specific package. Reason, possibility is that in a package thousands of classes are written. You should not import all the classes when you need one or two classes. Whichever you need, you write explicitly. Shall I move ahead? All of you guys clear? Shall I move ahead? I'm going a little bit fast. Hope you understand. Now, this is the important MCQ question. Pay attention. You need to identify which one is the correct import statement. Ammu, Bangara, Chinu, Dolly. Hope you remember. Faster, guys. Array? Very good. First one will not work. Java.util.arraylist, which is the class name. After that star giving, there is no point. Java.star, if you say Java.util.star, this is also fine, but problem, all the classes will come. Import Java.util. Which particular thing? That is not given. First is not recommended. Second is acceptable but not recommended. This is not going to work. Third is the most recommended approach. Let's move to the next one. Pay attention. Can I write it this way? I write any class extending a class while giving the import statement here. Yes, it is also allowed. Moving forward. Pay attention. There is a class called date, which is coming from two different packages. One package is called date. Another package is called SQL. In this way, this will lead to an error because now two definitions of date class is there. One is from SQL, one is from util. Now, no problem. Pay attention. Is this going to work? Yes, because explicit import has more priority than implicit import. Moving forward. I don't want to waste time on these pretty things. Explicit class import, present working directory, moving forward. And two packages are, by the way, two packages are by default available. One is java.lang, which is the other one by default available. One is java.lang. Apart from that, now util you have to write explicitly, na Bharat? How can you say, man? Bharat, for util packages, we are writing import statement. For lang package, we don't write import statement for the lang package. But don't you forget, even the current package is something we don't need to write import statement. Tricky one. Don't you think? For present working directory, current package, for that also we don't need to write any import statement. Do you agree? Arey yaar, everybody, for current package as well as long package, we don't need to write any import statement. They work absolutely fine. Moving forward. Pay attention. There is a scenario I'm giving to you. There is a package Java within util, then concurrent, then locks. In that there is a reentrant lock. Am I clear? I have to access the reentrant. Pay attention. What is the right import statement for the reentrant? You need to tell me. A, B, C, D, E, F. Very good. Very good. Super. Chaliye. I'm happy all of you are pretty much comfortable. Those who are responding, they're responding absolutely correct. Those of you are not responding, wish you all the best. Chaliye, good job. Both are fine because C, this is D is also fine, na? D is also fine, right? Of course, recommended is E, and we are going with E only. Perfect. I like your approach. You looked for the maximum, whichever is written is correct. Perfect. Waste of time. Let's not get into these things. Right. One package statement should be there. Which will come first, which will come go. I mean, I don't want to get into the package statement only. Okay, moving forward. These are the things we need to explore. So while writing our own classes, we have to provide some information about our classes to JVM by writing these access modifiers. This is where I want to start discussing. These are the access modifiers. Okay. And out of which at outer class level, what all are allowed? Total 12 access modifiers are there in Java. 0 access specifier. There is no concept of access specifiers in Java. Do you agree? If not, wait for a moment. I'll explain you probably tomorrow. Moving forward. So outer class level, if you see, these 5 are valid access modifier applicable. A class can be marked as public and package. You cannot write a class definition having private or protected mark. This is the common thing. A class can be final, a class can be abstract, and class can be strict FP also. Let's move forward. And apart from outer class, say I'm writing one more class within the another class definition, then that becomes the inner class. Outer class are public, package, final, abstract, and strict FP. Am I right? Public, final, puff. Apart from this, if I go for inner class level, a class within another class, nested class, then these 3 are also allowed. Not critically important. For me, important is pay attention. Can I write a class as private? Yes, no, fast. Now you have to be rapid fast. Rapid fire started fast. Can I write a class as marking as private? No, we cannot write a class marked as private. Okay, can I write a class marked as protected? Absolutely not. Only public or package allowed. Okay. Final, abstract, and strict FP also allowed. Okay. How about this? Public allowed? Yes, sir. No problem. Oi. What is the problem? Public and static. Perfect. How about this one? Can I write a class as only static? Of course not. Can I write static public? Sequence you can give, but a class cannot be marked as static. This way it is not going to work. Native class, wrong. Then now pay attention. Simple. Read the scenario very carefully. 2 packages I have taken. com.oops.pack1, where engine class is there, which is marked as package. That is also needs to be paid attention. There is another class called car, which is public in pack2. In car class, I'm saying engine E1 equal to new engine. Engine 1 dot start. Will it work? Yes, no, fast. Will it work? Will this work? Reason, class engine is marked as package. How can you try to access it from outside the package? All the method is public, that is secondary. Pay attention, error. Cannot find symbol engine. There is no imported statement. Now tell me, now perfect. Now, although class engine is package, by default it is accessible within the same package, but outside the package, if you want to access, you have to write the import statement, which is being written now. Am I clear, everybody? Fast. Yes, sir. Wish you all the best. Reason it is marked as package. It is supposed to be used only this. If this class is marked as public, if at all this class is marked as public, then only it is accessible. But even if it is accessible, you have to write the import statement when this is marked as public. Are you with me? Are you getting my point? See, first of all, it is not at all accessible. It is meant to access only within the package. How can you call it imported outside the package when it is not even allowed outside the package? Are you getting my point, everybody? Hello, 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 hello. Point is, this class is not marked as public. If it is marked as public, then you have to write the import statement outside the package. Then it will work. But if it is already packaged, you cannot even call it. Even if here it is imported, buddy. Imported, no? Bharat? Although it is imported, but since it is not marked as package, it will not even get imported. That's the whole point. Shall I move? Next. By the way, what's the time now? Shall I take it today or tomorrow? Today or tomorrow? Quite, I mean, more than 2 hours of class happened. I don't want to overload you. Tomorrow. Okay, no problem. Tomorrow. We'll take it tomorrow. What's the hurry? But whatever happened today, also effective? Is it effective for you all? Perfect. Then we'll see you tomorrow. And we will start with the final access modifier. Probably final and abstract. I'll try my best to complete by tomorrow. Mostly. Okay. So see you tomorrow. Are haan, Bharat has asked a very beautiful question. Bharat is asking, can we get these slide images so that you can, if you want, you can practice. Do you need it? Do you want it? Okay, then I'll do one thing. After some time, I'll create one Google form. I'll create one Google document. In that, all the screenshot will be dumped, and that Google document link I'll update into our group description. Our WhatsApp group description is there. In that group description, I'll paste one link. That is the link to the Google document where I'm pasting all these things. Would that make sense to you? Every class, after every class, I'll update. Is that okay? Okay, buddy. Guys, thank you. So see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. Till then, I hope you remember. Tata, bye-bye, namaskara. Okay then, see you. I'll end up the call. If you have any question to ask, you can, else you can drop the call. Okay? One by one, you can drop the calls. Now the point, great. Bharat, if you have to discuss something, you have to type in chat. I cannot hear you then. Or I'll do one thing, I'll disconnect the call. Shall I disconnect? Last slide you want me to repeat, huh? Okay, wait a minute. I'll explain, buddy. Just a minute. This one. This slide. Now, try to understand. Let me explain you again. See, suppose this import statement is not at all there. If this import statement is not at all there, there is no discussion about calling this line, right? If this import statement is not even there, fine. But since I have written the import statement, at least now it should work, right? That is what the confusion is coming to you. Now my question is, what is the access modifier applicable for this class right now over here? What is the access modifier should be written here? What is as of now written here? As of now, what is it written? As of now, when I'm not writing anything, then by default it is perfect. Then it is package. Now, if any class which is marked as package, don't you think that means it is accessible, it is visible only within the current package? Am I right? Okay, sir. Now the point is something which is accessible only within the current package. That class you are trying to import. That particular class you are trying to import outside the package. Can you see this? This import statement itself is wrong now. Reason? You are trying to access a class which is engine meant to be only within the current package. You are calling it from outside the package. And if you observe, 3 errors are coming. Earlier 2 errors were there, this time 3 errors are coming. See, first error itself is coming where? You actually pay attention to where the error is coming. See, error is coming at the import statement only. Because of this import statement failed, This engine call does not know. And this engine constructor call also does not know. Am I clear? Am I clear? Because import statement itself has failed. Wait, I'll explain you the previous scenario. Wait a minute, huh? Wait a minute. Wait. Just a minute. Now, if you observe this one, pay attention. In this, is there any import statement? No. Then it was failing it. Here, I added the import statement also. In next scenario, what I did? Here, only two errors are coming. See? Only two errors, one for class, one for the constructor part. Right? Now, here I have added the import statement. One error extra coming for the import statement. Class and constructor is there for sure. But import statement also is wrong now. I hope now completely clear to you. Okay, buddy. Perfect. Crystal clear? So, tata. See you tomorrow, 3 p.m. Bye-bye. End of the class. I'll share the document. And within 1 hour, if you don't get the update, you can text me. I'll update. Okay? Bye-bye. Welcome, buddy.